So she was a very broken woman when she met Prince Charles, and that was, as we all know, a terribly unhappy marriage. But she then became glamorous. She suddenly discovered her fame because she was very beautiful and very charming. He, on the other hand, couldn't find an English woman who wanted to live with him. I mean, they all fled because of his depressions and paranoia. And here is a woman, Meghan, who was his safety net, and not living in the luxury she wanted and having to obey the royal commands. She stoked constantly that he should feel aggrieved and should feel unhappy. And I think that is in the end why he agreed that Meghan was not going to obey any rules. She had no intention of staying, and that she was going to be a huge problem. And that was reported obviously to the Queen and the rest. And they realized that this was a marriage which was not going to last in Britain.
Tom Bower has spent years investigating one of the most talked about royal love stories in modern history. But his conclusions paint a picture far different from the fairy tale millions believed they were watching.
They were globally, and they are globally known, but because of the way they behaved in the last 4 or 5 years, and as a price of betrayal, their reputation and their status and their fortunes are crumbling.
Although the future Duchess of Sussex, Meghan Markle, was initially welcomed into royal circles following the start of her relationship with Prince Harry.
According to Bower, the grand wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle may have hidden growing tensions that few people could see. He argues that behind the dazzling ceremony, worldwide celebrations, and smiling faces, serious concerns were already taking shape behind palace walls.
Well, I think the Meghan Markle I know is on the good side, intelligent, resourceful, definitely resilient under fire, but on the other hand, intensely selfish, only self-opinionated, unable to see anything other than through her own lens, as she would say, appalling treatment of her father and her friends, old friends, a very conflicted personality. But worst of all for her is that she couldn't find huge fame and fortune on her own accomplishments. Her problem is she has very limited talent.
While his claims remain heavily disputed and continue to divide royal watchers, they have fueled one of the biggest debates in royal history. And if even part of Bower's account is accurate, the story behind this royal wedding could be far more shocking than anyone ever imagined.
That letting Harry and Meghan back into Britain to revalidate their royal status will only give them another boost to sell themselves, either in Australia or Canada or wherever, to make money out of their royal titles. And I think that'll be a disaster for the royal family.
When Meghan Markle first entered Prince Harry's life, the world celebrated what appeared to be a modern-day fairy tale. She was welcomed into the royal family with enormous public support, and many believed she would help bring a fresh image to the monarchy.
She'd have to have an escape route. She'd have to find a sort of a Silicon Valley or somehow aging billionaire that would want to take her on. I don't think she'd walk into the wilderness. I can't imagine any man finding happiness with Meghan Markle. I mean, I think it'll be pretty difficult.
But according to Tom Bower, the reality behind closed doors was far more complicated. He claims palace insiders were already questioning whether Meghan truly intended to embrace the traditions and responsibilities that came with royal life.
You're absolutely right. I mean, what I discovered was, of course, that she was hunting for a man in England from 2013 onwards, when her marriage had crashed and she couldn't find anyone in Canada at the time. And she wanted wealth and she wanted fame. And she targeted, there's no doubt she targeted Harry and found someone who was a childhood friend of his who could introduce them. And then on the days before they met at their blind meeting in a club in London, she researched Harry very carefully.
Those early concerns, he argues, quietly grew stronger as the relationship moved toward marriage, setting the stage for a controversy few people saw coming.
I mean, Harry, if you are what he was, the third and now the fifth in line to succession, and you're a member of the royal family, your ambition isn't clearly material. I mean, he had all the money he needed. He had all the fame he needed. He had the applause he needed. The point about Meghan is she was looking for fame. She was looking for applause. She was looking for international recognition.
One of Bower's most controversial claims is that Meghan's journey to the royal family was anything but accidental. According to his account, She had spent years building connections with influential people while searching for greater fame and international recognition.
Logical deep dive on Meghan Markle in regard to this timeline. Do you think that she wanted to get married quickly, A, because of her biological clock which was ticking, and B, because she wanted to close the deal, she wanted to bag this prince?
Yes, I should have said before, not that I think the biological clock was the actual factor. I just think that's what she was telling him, and of course he bought it. But I actually think she was love-bombing him, completely love-bombing him, playing along with all their plans at the time, saying, of course I want to live in South Africa, because he really wants to live in South Africa at the time. She was playing along with that.
Bower alleges that before meeting Harry, Meghan carefully researched his interests, passions, and personality, so she would know exactly how to connect with him. Supporters strongly reject this interpretation, insisting their relationship was built on genuine love. Still, Bower believes their first meeting was the result of careful preparation rather than pure coincidence, a claim that continues to spark fierce debate. Bower also argues that Prince Harry was at a particularly vulnerable stage in his life when he met Meghan. He claims Harry had struggled with loneliness and personal frustrations for years, making him eager to find someone who truly understood him. According to Bower, Meghan appeared to offer exactly the emotional support Harry had been searching for, creating an instant bond between them. He suggests that Harry quickly became convinced he had found the perfect partner, but critics of Bower's theory argue that such conclusions rely heavily on interpretation rather than proven fact. Even so, this alleged emotional connection would become one of the most important parts of his investigation. As the romance became more serious, Bower claims subtle but significant changes began taking place in Harry's personal life. According to his account, the prince slowly drifted away from many of his closest friends, leaving some of them surprised by how quickly their relationships changed. Bower points to several social gatherings where disagreements allegedly created lasting tension between Meghan and members of Harry's inner circle. While supporters believe Meghan was simply standing up for her principles, critics argue these moments marked the beginning of Harry's growing isolation. Whatever truly happened, those friendships would never be quite the same again. As the royal wedding drew closer, another detail began attracting increasing attention. While celebrities, world leaders, and senior royals prepared to attend one of the biggest events of the decade, Meghan's own family remained largely absent from the celebration. Bower argues this reflected long-standing tensions that had been building behind the scenes, particularly involving her father, Thomas Markle. According to his account, senior members of the royal family were concerned that the growing media drama could overshadow the wedding itself. Instead of fading away, however, the controversy only grew larger with each passing day. According to Bower, the wedding was never just about love. It also represented the beginning of a much bigger public story. He argues that every major decision surrounding the ceremony carried significance beyond the celebration itself, shaping how Harry and Meghan would be viewed on the world stage. While millions watched a glamorous royal event filled with tradition and emotion, Bower believes important warning signs were already visible beneath the surface. Whether those signs were ignored or simply misunderstood remains one of the biggest questions surrounding the couple's remarkable journey. Years later, the debate surrounding Harry and Meghan shows no sign of disappearing. Through interviews, documentaries, best-selling books, and countless public appearances, both supporters and critics continue to argue over what really happened behind palace walls. Tom Bower's investigation remains one of the most controversial accounts ever written about the couple, with many rejecting his conclusions while others believe they reveal a hidden side of the royal story. But if his claims point to a deeper truth, then the wedding that captivated billions may have been only the beginning of an even more extraordinary royal mystery.